From the sunny shores of Daytona Beach to the lapping waters of Lake Neuchâtel, this is the P1 Jetcross Pro Tour. Welcome to Estavayer-le-Lac for round 2 of the Jetcross Pro Tour. We're here in the heart of this beautiful medieval town to watch the world's best riders race their 200 horsepower jet skis around a tight course at speeds approaching 120 kilometers an hour. It was a 3-for-3 for Valentin Dardillat at the last round in Daytona Beach, with fellow Frenchman Bryce Lopez hot on his heels.
Conditions could hardly have been more different, as the Atlantic rollers make Daytona a real physical challenge. But Valentin Dardillat was the man of the moment, though he says this one won't be so easy.
It was a very good weekend in Daytona because I won there, and it's a good vibe for this weekend. So I'm very happy to be here and very concentrate for this weekend. I prefer Daytona because it's very waving and roofing, so it's my condition, and I'm very good and technical in this condition. This weekend will be more, it will be harder, so I think I can't do the same difference than last race, but I will do my best on the ski, and I have good sensation, so I'm ready.
So Valentin goes into this round as hot favourite, but it didn't go all his way in qualifying, as number 72 Jeremy Poret qualified in first position.
It's a very good deal for me because I can choose my place on the starting line in first, so I can choose the best place for sure, and it's a very good thing for me.
How are you finding the conditions out there today?
The condition is very hard here because a lot of people and the track is very short. So I think the start is not the most important this weekend. So we have to make a safe race and have to look the wave because today it will be very hard. It's very different to in Daytona because here is the lake wave. So but it's very difficult. It's not the ocean wave, but I like it, and I train often in this condition, so it's perfect for me.
Unfortunately, Bryce Lopez isn't here this weekend. So can anyone else stop Valentin Dardillat? Let's head over for Moto 1 with our race commentator Dave Moore to find out.
Well, with 2 podium finishes, the absent Bryce Lopez was runner-up in Daytona, and Dave Moore couldn't be here either, but hopefully we'll get along fine without him. We can't wait much longer, though, because it's time for the first of this weekend's 3 races. And we have cameras out on the water with 3 of the racers, and we join them as they get in position for race 1. Let's take a look at that short course Jeremy Poret referred to. It's a bit complicated on the map, and it will be busy in the race, but the main feature is this zigzag coming back towards the start-finish. Choose either side to try and get an advantage. Fast top straight, and then another little zigzag for a bit more choice. Log jump at the bottom by the start-finish line as well to liven things up. Good conditions on the water. Little bit of wind, but otherwise as perfect as you want it, unless you're a bit of a rough water specialist like Dardillat. Starting from the dot, Poret on the extreme left of the lineup puts himself on the inside of the first turn after the start run into the centre of the course. Oh man, that Poret wasn't at the opening round, so Dardillat's nearest championship challenge is almost 50 points behind him. And there's the start. And the start of the countdown clock. Poret on the far side gets dropped by Dardillat. Valentin Le Mans, number 18, gets a good start. So too Morgan Poret, riding with Jonathan Lebierre around the hard left at the buoy, heading out into the zigzag. Skis going right or left, looking for space and clear water. Poret went the other way to Dardillat. He's on the green side trying to catch up. And that was Thierry Coutier, I think, there, that he banged with. Dardillat still in the lead, all very close behind him. Tollimer and Poret, who started right alongside Dardillat, as we ride with Anthony Torelli. This is the race leader doing better than he led us to expect on the late waters, but it's still very early in this race. Jonathan Lebierre, some way down the field, having a rougher ride on the choppy water. He's gone out wide in the turn. Left room on the inside for Simon Roll. Here's the collision. Thierry Coutier didn't even know Poret was there. Race leader and points leader Dardillat looking like a man on his way to win number 4 already. And looking very balanced indeed. Strong performances at the opening round. Good view of the zigzag. Green side or a blue side, both the same distance, but if you get stuck behind someone, you go the other way at the split and try to come out ahead when they join up again. Clear water works best, of course. Crossing wake gets you chopped, gets you out of the water, you lose drive, you lose time. Skating over the water like that is the slower way to go. Time in the air is time without drive. Second and third, these two could slow each other down. Close together now. And over the log jump, Tollimer. Here's the race leader, and there's been a change behind him. If he looked over his shoulder now, he might just catch a glimpse and see that Morgan Poret is up into second ahead of Tollimer. And now that battle is over, he may well start to close in on Dardillat. Just watch the body position now on that long straight, moving forward on the ski, trying to keep it flat on the water. You just want to get the minimum amount of hull contact with the surface of the water and the maximum amount of drive. What you don't want is the nose lifting up. Morgan Poret second and well clear of Tollimer now. And again, you see, working the body position is all part of this. If you've done holiday jet skis, you've been sat in the seat of what they call a runabout. This is altogether a different thing. It's a lot more physical, it's a lot faster, and it's a lot more demanding. You have to have a spatial awareness too, looking around you. You've got to pick your way around the buoys, know where you are on the course, know which way it's going to go next, and you're racing against everybody else who's out here on the water. So there's an awful lot going on here. Big applause for Big Air, but again, it's not the quick way, is it? 1-1-1. That's Steve Ledice, the closest championship challenger to Valentin Dardillat, arriving here. He was third in Daytona. Lopez didn't make the trip to Europe, so good points here could be crucial. We're riding with Anthony Torelli, or not rather, because he's pulling up. He's got a problem. The race leader still looking strong, and another change in third place. Maybe as the fitter riders maintain their pace and others begin to feel the pace, but they should all be fit, and more often it's just a little snag, little catch in the water. And there's your race leader. A mix of technique, strength and stamina are what you need. Countdown timer tells you what's going on, 15 minutes plus 1 lap. They'll get signals, they'll know when the race is coming to the end. Their body might tell them long before that, though. Race leader tight round the buoys. That's way to make up time. And There's Morgan Poret there, only a couple of riders using Yamaha power. He's one of them. The rest are pretty much Kawasaki. There's Dardillat over the log jump, and that was a bit high.
As the racing heats up, don't go anywhere because we'll be right back with more action from Estavayer-le-Lac. Welcome back. Let's get straight back to the action in Moto 1 with our race commentator, Dave Moore.
Race leader Valentin Dardillat is being chased by this man, Morgan Poret. And Jonathan Lebeer pretty well down the order now, just coming out of the zigzag and joining alongside number 4, Anthony Birno, the Belgian, in clearly carrying a lot more speed. And over the log jump much quicker. Torelli is in trouble now. He dropped out of second place, being recovered by one of the rescue boats. So mechanical problems that just got worse instead of better. Top 3 still the same order, but look how close Morgan Poret has come now. And Jonathan Lebeer coming up behind another slower rider. That was the fast starting Valentin Limon, but he's obviously having issues too now. Race leader and Poret second, holding those tighter lines. Right round the edge of the buoy. Saw what happened just now with Lebeer when you get a little bit too close, lower and slower over the log jump. That's a little bit better. It's faster than getting big air. 3 minutes to go, and there's a proper scrap on for the race lead. Well, Lebeer over the log. It's more intimidating looking from here than from the spectator viewpoint, and he falls in the choppy water, collects it all up and continues. Dardillat and Poret coming out of different sides of the zigzag. Is Poret any closer? Doesn't look like it. Dardillat looking like a winner. The whistle's telling everyone the race leader is coming through. High over the jump. He's really in a hurry now. He knows he's coming under pressure. And there isn't much of this race left, so he's really got to hang on. He's got to dig deep now. Valentin Dardillat could make this his 4th win in a row if he can just fend off Morgan Poret. Stephen Ledige over the jump. Well, this is going to be 4th place for 111, but it's... Look at this. The poleman has slogged his way up through the field after that early contact, and he's up into 4th place. Defending champion Jeremy Poret really making a fine a recovery worthy of a champion, that was, but he's never going to catch this man now. The race leader still holding off the younger brother Morgan Poret on his way to the checkered flag. Giving it all they've got, but Dardillat must know that this race is in his pocket now unless he makes a mistake. Every muscle must be starting to hurt now. They've been going for 15 minutes plus. We're riding with the race leader. And he's got the speed to fend off Morgan Poret in the zigzags there. That isn't going to work for Poret. It is going to work for Dardillat, who hangs on. He knows it's in the bag now. Just don't make any mistakes. You can cut it tight around the boys. You can get in, cut them really close, but much closer than that, you're in lots of trouble, as we've seen with a couple of other riders. Jeremy Poret made it up to 3rd in the dying moments of that race. Morgan Poret is right behind Dardillat, and we're about to start this final lap. And it's going to be a battle royal between these two. How close he is. He's on the inside, he's through, isn't he? Barged his way through, and the boy, they are in reverse order now on the last lap. The countdown time has finished. We get one more lap. Morgan Poret bruised his way through into the lead ahead of Valentin Dardillat, but the race is not over yet. Dardillat might still be able to come back at him. They're starting the final lap now as they go past the close to the boy. On the blue side of the zigzag, this is Dardillat. Where is Morgan Poret? Dardillat will be able to see him. He's out of our sight, but he looks like he just had a little snag there. He may well just have cost himself this race. He went the other way round, and it looks like he's lost a bit of time in the zigzag, and it's all Dardillat now as we head towards the checkered flag. He's led it for almost the entire distance. There's the win. Oh, that was very, very close. And that's congratulations from second place. Almost pulls him out of the water. 4 races on the bounce, though, for Valentin Dardillat. And he adds a whole stash of points to his lead with that one.
I feel very, very good. It's crazy. It's a big level in this weekend on Estavayer-le-Lac, so it was hard to win the first Moto, but I'm very happy. And Morgan pushed me in a hard condition, and it was hard physical, but Morgan and Jamie are very good pilots, so it will be hard to win.
I'm very happy. It's a very big battle with Valentin all the race, so I'm very happy in this condition. It's the same condition at home, so I like this. It's very funny with the wave. I think this condition is very hard because circuit it's small, and with the wave it's more difficult, so it's more funny.
What a great race there for Valentin Dardillat and Morgan Poret. Join us after the break for Moto 2. Welcome back to Estavayer-le-Lac. It's non-stop action here in Switzerland. So let's go straight over to our race commentator, Dave Moore, for Moto number 2.
Yep, 1 down, 2 to go. This is really going to make demands on fitness. This is a strength game. And if this is anything like as close as the first, it should be a good one, especially if Jeremy Poret gets off the line a little bit better and doesn't have any problems. Cameras on several of the riders, so we get a close-up view of the action, including the winner of the last 4 motos, this man here, Valentin Dardillat. Conditions are warmer, the wind has dropped, and here's a reminder of the course layout. The zigzag didn't seem to make much difference yesterday until the end of the race, when it helped Morgan Poret catch the leader and then lose him a lap later, just as the flag was ready to drop. So it could be interesting again in the 2 motos that remain to us. So here we go again, 15 minutes and 1 lap. Engine start and ready to go. Key moment in the race. A good getaway can make a world of difference. Let's see what happens when they get the signal to start, and away they go. No mistake this time for Jeremy Poret. Just look at that boy go from the line. Valentin Limon also quick off the mark again. We're riding with Jonathan Lebeard already, and a bit of a chop from the skis ahead. Dardillat round the first turn on the inside of Limon, but where's Poret? And Lebeard has just clipped that boy, sent himself over. It's so easily done, especially when the water is choppy and churned up by all the other skis. Dardillat leads, and Torelli went out in Moto 1 with mechanical issues. Not short on engine power here, is he? Race leader making it look like he's going to do it all again. This is Jetcross 2. There are 3 classes here this weekend, including pros and veterans. Lots of classes and options for people wanting to take part and be competitive in this sport. Dardillat looks like he's very competitive at the moment. He's going to do it all again. We saw it in Moto 1. Came down to the final lap, though, the final meters of the final lap, in fact. Clear water ahead of him. That's what he wants to see, although he says he likes it when it's choppy. What he meant was he likes those waves on the Atlantic, which is a different thing to this when it's been all mashed up by a blender, or several of them, in fact. Top 3 then, Dardillat and Tollimer. Where's defending champion? And that poleman, Jeremy Poret, came on strong at the end of Moto 1. We're riding in second place now. And see how the water is broken and making life harder. Just a little catch brings you down and you carry on. On 1-1 is Stephen Ladish. There's the boy. That's how finely you want to cut it. That's exactly how you want to do it. That's all good stuff for him. Oh, that's not quite so good, is it? Into the water. Carries on. Has a look round, makes sure he's not being caught by Tollimer. Looks safe for now, but that will cost him. Tollimer is third, and he will have seen that, and he will have thought, here comes my moment. Here comes the race leader, though. This is number 8. This is Valentin Dardillat. Jeremy Poret coming through like a bullet now. Again, not a brilliant start in this second outing, but he's very much on it now. There's your 111. Top 3. As over the log jump we go. Looks so easy, doesn't it? And it does cost you time as we go back on top of the helmet of Jeremy Poret. Bouncing it through the wash there, crossing wake. It's never good. There's a rider down there, but the safety boats are already there. And a little bit of drama early in this race as Poret shows us what might have been, but for his own mishap in race 1. That's the way to do it. You see him using his body weight on the straight. There's no time to do that really in the zigzags and these fast turns. A lot of this course is short and sharp with very tight turns, and really you'll see the boats jumping a lot more in those short little spurts between the boys. As you see the leaderboard there, you watch, they'll bounce a lot more because the riders don't have a time really to adjust their position so much. But on the long top straight, they will get right forward and try and get that jet ski really flying across the top of the water. This is all sort of elbows and strength work here, and you have to take the rough as it comes, but it's working. The zigzag has it worked its magic here for Poret? He's coming right alongside that 111. And Jeremy, Stephen Ladish really dug himself a hole there. And that's so, as we see so often, it is so easily done. The difference between a superbly tight turn and your face in the water is so little. Well, you can see the race leader now. That's always encouraging. Here's Dardillat. He doesn't want to turn around and have a look in case he sees who's following him. But behind him, Poret can see the race leader. And if you can see him, in theory, then you should also be able to catch him. But a battle royal now developing between the reigning champion and the championship leader. .72 is Jeremy Poret, 8 is Valentin Dardillat. Clear-ish water, and a bit of a jump there tells you how much pressure that number 8 is under from the number 72 machine behind. And we are coming to the end of this race. Less than 3 minutes on the countdown timer, and at the end of the lap, after it goes to 0, they'll get the last lap flag. Johan Tollimer in 7th place. And passing Torelli. Antonio Torelli. Had problems in Moto 1, looking stronger in Moto 2. And who's looking strongest at the moment out of these two? Dardillat trying to keep it flat on the water, but just look at that. Wow, that was something else. Jeremy Poret just came flying past him in midair. Dardillat was trying to keep that ski down as low as he can, get it back in the water and get some drive, but Poret just did the other thing, gassed it up over the jump and passed him about 4 feet off the surface of the water and came down in 1st place. So we do have a new race leader. Valentin Dardillat, look at the speed he's pulling here on this big back straight. These are very fast indeed. Torelli in the thick of it still, hasn't given up. He's looking for a good finish. He wants to make up for what happened to him in that first moto. Apart from the big change up front, it looks as though some of these positions pretty much settle now. Palacio on Jetcross 2, Poret in mid-air over the logs and flying home now. Poret, Dardillat and Edish, that's your top 3. Lots of action, the water really getting churned up now. Some of these little duels are getting very fierce indeed. Dardillat is going to be 2nd, and he's going to come out of this race with another 53 points and an even bigger lead in the championship than the one he brought here. And that may well just be enough to keep him happy, but not everyone's settling for the status quo, as you can see. Tollimer and Morgan Poret locked in mortal combat as they round the boys here. There's your top 3, Poret, Dardillat, Liddy, and that's been the same for a while. But the race leader is easing away now. The gap well over 10 seconds between 1st and 2nd, and he's not long been in the lead. So Dardillat losing a little bit of ground here, and no one rides for 2nd, do they? On the top of Jonathan Lebeez, keeping out of the way of Dardillat. And it's moments before the finish. Anyone with a point to make or a glimmer of a pass is going to be making it now. The water very busy and very choppy indeed. And there's a man in the water there. I think that's Jeffrey Rice. It is 151. Yellow flags waving, the safety crews right on top of their game once again. We've seen that a couple of times when people have had problems. Third place for 111 and number 7 here, Morgan Poret. He's going to be 5th in this race, not as good as in the Moto 1, but his brother, the reigning champion, is going to be 1st. All over bar the shouting for Jeremy Poret, and Dardillat is going to get another strong finish, even if it is only 2nd. He's about 15 seconds behind. The first time he's been beaten this season. The defending champion takes his first win of the year, and pleased as he must be with that, there's no doubt that Valentin Dardillat will be more than happy to finish 2nd. 53 points for 2nd place, puts him massively ahead of his first round rivals now, and there's still one more moto ahead, so everybody feels good about this.
Yeah, I'm very happy because I made a good start, but I have some problem with my ski in the old shot. But after I start, I think first lap 8, and I finish 1st, so I'm very happy. The track and condition is very perfect for me. So now I'm 2nd overall, and I have to win the final race for win the weekend. It was a hard moto because I had a technical problem in the middle of the moto, so it was hard to finish at the 2nd place, but I'm happy, and the final moto will be the biggest. The condition is perfect. It's a little bit windy, so some waves, so it's good for me and for my ski, but I will see the next moto. It's same condition, it will be good for me.
Impressive win there for Jeremy Poret, but there is still one more moto to go to decide who will take the win this weekend. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Estavayer-le-Lac. For the first time this year, Valentino has been beaten, but he is still leading the weekend going into Moto 3. So over to our race commentator, Dave Moore.
Skis in the water for the 3rd and final time of Arsingen. Cameras with the usual suspects as they prepare to take the start. Conditions haven't changed since this morning. Not really very different to yesterday either. Jeremy Poret didn't get the greatest getaway in the first race, had a bit of a problem. And this is the start run. It's a long dash out to that really tight left-hander, then through the zigzags, back down to the start-finish, through the equaliser, over the log jump, zigzag back up to the top, and the longest, fastest straight is right across the top, and round in another loop, and you're back into the zigzags and lapping for 15 minutes and 1 extra lap. All important getaway then to make the inside of that very tight 180 at the first turn. And away they go, 18. Lemon's got nothing to be ashamed of, has he, for his starts? And look at that, once again, Poret didn't really get the start that we expect from him. The water very chopped up as we ride with William. Dardillat going for the blue side, Poret on the green side. They are side by side actually, going into the zigzag now. Dardillat just got the lead. Look at this. Poret beside him, going the other way round the zigzag, comes out in front of Dardillat, goes round the side of the log jump and jumps clear into the lead. That was an extraordinary first lap from the reigning and defending champion, who's now out in the clear. Well, we've seen what he does when he's in the clear. He just starts to run away with it. He ended up with 16 seconds in his pocket in Moto 2 once he'd got past Dardillat here. And Dardillat is not so much the technique rider that you see from the champion here. There's a lot of strength, there's a lot of athletic finesse involved and a lot of athletic ability, but this technique, watch him now as he goes through the zigzag. This is the technique that lets him run away with races, and he's done it once already today, and Dardillat doesn't actually seem to have an answer to that. He's good if he's out in front and he can fend off most things, as we've seen, but he can't do this as well as Poret can do. And he's the first person to say that he's been learning since he got here. Treble one there, Stephen Ledige. And people making very different choices about which way round they go. Antoine Gatals, and he can't, you see, look, he can't get past. This is why it's so difficult. All of a sudden, what looks like empty water is full up with jet ski and splashy big wakes. And if it's not in your face, then it's unsettling your own ski. And you really need to pick your moment. And that's why the zigzag here is so important. You can go the other way, find a little bit of clear water, hopefully use your speed and break away from the person who's not letting you past. And that was just a little bit too big an ask, wasn't it? Dug that in too deeply, and down he went. Morgan Poret, younger brother, is somewhere in the melee behind us. This is first and second, and over the log jump. Now that he's got nobody chasing him, he's not bothered about going over the jump. There's Morgan Poret, so close to victory in Moto 1. He was fifth, second time out. He could be a podium finisher. There's still 10 minutes of racing left, but look at this. He is in third place, and he's looking very strong indeed. Got nobody around him. And fourth and fifth could well be having their own battle here, and that may well keep them off his back for a while. And Gertels, the Belgian, up and running there. We're riding with treble one, Stephen Ledige, taking a bit of pounding from the water. And by contrast, look, it's so smooth out here, smooth sailing for the race leader, who's out on his own and picking his line, picking his water as well, and nipping in as close as he can to the boys. As we say, this is where he looks so good. But he will catch up with other riders very shortly, and when he does, you watch that water change and he starts to encounter the wake of the skis that are just in front of him. Starting to bounce around a bit, even if it's not all churned up, freshly churned up and foaming. You can still see the displacement and the wake chop that you've got to get through. We'll know he's there. And look, moving aside, Poret was hoping for a blue flag, but it wasn't necessary. Other riders moving neatly out of the way. Dardillat is still second, looking at adding to his series lead if he just hangs on there in second place, not being challenged by third, so he's all right for the time being. And here is Morgan Poret, not quite safe yet, perhaps, from what's happening behind him. On board with Anthony Torelli, Limon across on the left. Torelli takes the blue choice and the clear water. Tollimer in fourth place, and here's fifth behind, having to ride through the rough. They're all doing it. Look, Torelli and Limon bouncing around as well. Everyone knows this is their last opportunity of the day to score their extra points. No one wants to relax yet. Not even the race leader, who has now opened up a gap worth having on second place. And Valentin Dardillat is falling further behind on every lap. And not by much, but it's a useful gap which Poret seems to be able to pull once he's riding on his own. Thinking about his lap, his lines, and his points are turning across the boys. Whistles blowing to let other riders know that the leaders and others are coming through, all that you are about to be lapped. He's trying to get past. He's been trying for a while here, and again, catches the wake. It does him no good at all, and he just can't find the way to get through. That's why going the other way around the zigzag might still be the answer. So here we go again, and here we go again. Limon there now. Is he going to get the pass? Torelli's got a bit of speed here, you know, over the logs, and he might well land in the lead. Cuts through on the boy, and he has made that work, hasn't he? Race leader, whistles blowing again, tell other riders, here he comes, please move aside. Poret, Dardillat and Poret. The two brothers have this man in a Poret sandwich, but he's not going to be too disappointed with that. Torelli closing up on the next man ahead. This is 1-1-1 now. Having a good second half of the day and a good second half of the race, actually. Looking stronger and stronger. And staying away from the wake. Through the equaliser, they turn. He always does well over the log jump, doesn't he? Watch him now, see if he does that again. He always seems to be able to get his head down and get a bit of a speed. It's not going to... Oh, he did. He jumped closer, didn't he? So he's definitely using that well. And the race leader using this entire course as well as it can be done. This is an object lesson, isn't it, in how to do it. Jeremy Poret looking every inch, the reigning champion. Almost done enough to make it 2 in a row. Torelli still on the gas all around this circuit, still in this battle. And he is fast on the back straight as well. Maybe this is where it will happen. One with Jonathan Lebier. Look, there's no brakes on a jet ski, is there? Once you're committed to your corner, that's pretty much it, and you're all out of options. And taking the clear path, maybe this will help him now, going the other way. And just what Poret didn't want at the last gasp, a lake full of jet skis, but that's what he's got now, isn't it? Wall-to-wall racers all around him. He's got 20 seconds, maybe more in hand now, but he can't afford a mishap, can he? Or that lead could easily evaporate. So he really needs to concentrate on getting this job done. Strength, fitness, everything has to be at a peak. Then it's racecraft as well. And it's the same for Valentin. Dardillat behind him now. And again, you look at that water and it does look as though someone's had a blender out, doesn't it? And it's not at all smooth. Poret, though, knows that it's almost all over. And this will be his second win of the day. Looks round to see where the pursuit is, but there's no such thing because the gap is over 25 seconds as he goes over the line. And that is the checkered flag for him, win number 2 of the day. And he's very happy with that. Watch this. Big air over the log jump now. And he's very happy with his day. 2 out of 3 wins gives him the weekend. And behind him in second place, Valentin Dardillat won't be too disappointed by finishing as runner-up because he keeps his championship lead at the end of this. And his first thought, look, is to go over and congratulate the winner. And that's the sportsmanship after a hard race. And let's look, confirmation now of that result. Not just the race, but of all those battles we were watching. Torelli will be as happy as anyone with his best result of the day, as happy as Poret will be with another win.
I feel so good because I won this weekend, and I'm so happy. This condition here is very, very hard and very good for me. I like it, and I'm so happy to win the weekend because after the first race I'm not so good, so I win the Moto 2 and Moto 3, so I'm happy. I would like to thank all my sponsors and all people to help me. and thanks the organization because this event is very great, and thank you so much.
But there were just 2 points between him and Valentin Dardillat at the end of a tough weekend here in Switzerland.
Yeah, it was a great weekend, but I'm not very happy because I'm second and I want to be first. But it was very good battle with Jeremy and Morgan, so I learned a lot this weekend, and I'm ready for the next weekend in Austria. It's a European Championship, so it was good.
The weekend is very fun for me. I'm very happy. Very great feeling in the water and the track, so I'm very happy. I'm very exciting to go to Vichy because the condition is the same, so I think it's very good for me.
But the championship leaderboard belongs to Valentin Dardillat, now almost 100 points clear at the halfway point of the season. And it's going to be a big ask for anyone else to make up the difference as long as Dardillat shows up and keeps performing at this kind of level. So big smiles for him, and no wonder.
What a great weekend racing we've had here at Estavayer-le-Lac. Jeremy Poret stole the win this weekend, but Valentin Dardillat still leads the championship. The next stop on the P1 Jetcross Pro Tour is Vichy. See you there.